TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. Scrolling through these apps, looking for the next bit of funny content. Scrolling and scrolling endlessly, watching video after video. But do you ever stop and think, is social media actually affecting me, or even society as a whole? Well, in my documentary, I will be researching what social media actually does to us and how it is affecting the way people think, act, and feel. Do you use social media often?
Yes, quite often.
I use social media on a daily basis to check my Twitter feeds, to look on Instagram, to talk to my friends on Snapchat.
Yeah, it's probably like what I mostly do on my phone, to be honest. Like, I'm mostly looking at social media, so yeah.
In today's world of technology, where we're more connected than ever, sometimes it seems like everyone is actually less social than they were before. It seems almost ironic that platforms labelled social media may actually be making us less social and more unhappy. Do you feel like you actually enjoy your time that you spend on social media?
I'd probably say no, but because I'm so addicted, like I feel if I'm not on it for a certain amount of time, I feel like I'm also like missing something in my life. Like if I'm getting withdrawals, it's like a chore basically for me now.
Social media is definitely something that most people would say is addicting. Everyone is guilty of the endless browsing through pages and pages of content. But it's not all your fault. Social media apps use methods to keep people on their platforms for as long as possible. One of those methods is called the infinite scroll. When you use social media, does it often feel difficult to turn it off?
Yeah, like I feel like pretty much like every day I'm like sinking like a minimum of maybe 5 hours, but like at a maximum probably like 10, you know.
When applied to social media sites, the infinite scrolling system can be an incredibly addictive way to consume media, as it rewards mindless scrolling and allows people to just sit back for hours on end and continue to consume content. The infinite scroll system makes it so you don't want to stop scrolling, because when you scroll, the reward system in your brain fires, making you want to continue consuming the content, so you keep getting that rewarding feeling. However, according to this website, constantly checking your phone and the overuse of social media may actually be decreasing our attention span slowly by about 47 seconds over time, as well as leading to a plethora of other issues. Another website labels the use of infinite scrolling and other short forms of media as a cause for some of the issues, like productivity loss, sensory overload, and both physical and mental health concerns. Would you say your attention span's gotten worse since you started using social media?
Oh, definitely, 100%.
I would say so, yeah. Like, it's gotten way worse.
It depends what app I'm using, because if you're using TikTok, it's like short 30-ish second videos, so you're sort of expecting it to go straight to the point.
These side effects should be dealt with as soon as you notice it, because over time they'll only get worse. Productivity loss is an obvious one to spot, as I'm sure most people have experienced it regularly in your day-to-day life. Most of the time it occurs because of how easy it is to just grab your phone or device, and then immediately you've just wasted away 10 minutes when you should have been working or studying. It's definitely a challenge to fight the urge to pick up your phone sometimes, especially when it's mere inches from your hand. Do you think your phone distracts you from being productive?
It's yes and no, because there are like apps that you can use to like help edit videos that I do for me work. But at the same time, it's like that app's right there, but like so is TikTok and YouTube.
Next I want to mention the second side effect, which is sensory overload. It's very easy to overwhelm your senses, especially in this modern age, where there's bright lights emitting from your phone and colourful ads plastered on every surface. And now since TikTok and other short-form media sites are so common and widely used, it's easier than ever for your brain to be overstimulated. Flicking between videos so frequently can lead to you feeling stressed and exhausted, even though you haven't been doing anything. This brings me to my next point, which is the mental health concerns that social media causes. The addictive qualities of social media can lead to some pretty serious mental health side effects if you use it for long enough, such as depression, anxiety, obsessive compulsive behaviours, and a new side effect which is related to social media called FOMO, which is an acronym that stands for the fear of missing out. Have you ever suffered from FOMO?
Yes, it's something that I often suffer from when I don't have my phone.
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say, because it's like you say, like if you see something someone's posted and like it's just a picture of like their friends having fun, it's like, well, why can't I like go out with my friends? Like I feel like I'm missing out on good times while I'm just like scrolling through my phone.
FOMO is a psychological phenomenon where people feel overwhelmed by anxiety because they feel as though they're missing out on important information or a new experience. FOMO was first documented in 2004, however it is likely that it was experienced before then, but people just didn't have a term to describe how they were feeling. The term itself was popularized in the early 2010s as more and more people claim to occasionally experience this phenomenon. FOMO can lead to some people feeling anxious, stressed, lonely and even depressed, even though nothing has actually happened to the person. It is believed to be caused through social media and the ideals of other people's lives that it sets up, and how people feel as though they're missing out from these experiences themselves. This article from this website describes FOMO as a problematic attachment to social media. FOMO can also be linked back to the infinite scrolling in social media, as the endless string of videos makes you want to stay on the platform and fear that you'll miss an interesting video or bit of content. And unfortunately, getting trapped in this cycle can result in addiction to these apps, and FOMO just becoming even more common in your life.
Do you sometimes feel like you're addicted to your phone?
Not all the time, because I just go on there for the intended things that I need to do on it, and I don't spend too long on it. I just use it for the right reasons.
I'd say I'm addicted to my phone, yeah. I'd say it's a pretty big problem in my life, and I feel like it's overtaking my life.
Finally, my last point for this particular subject is the physical effects of prolonged social media use. There are a few physical effects related to excessive phone use, such as weight gain from long periods of inactivity, carpal tunnel from constantly scrolling, eye strain from the blue light emanating from your phone or device, and sleep loss, which is caused by too much phone before you go to sleep. So it's ideal that you don't use your phone for at least an hour before you go to sleep. Most, if not all, of these physical effects are easily treatable, but it doesn't make them any less serious. Thankfully, there are ways to avoid falling into the endless pit of scrolling, and there are also plenty of ways of clawing your way out. Some of the ways you can improve your physical and mental health is by picking up a new hobby such as reading, which will also improve your concentration, or perhaps you could take up a sport or learn a new instrument. There is lots of things you can do to improve your mental health and physical health. You just need to fill the gap where you would be needlessly scrolling through your phone instead. No matter how down you feel, just remember there is always something you can do. The next big subject I want to talk about in regards to social media and the internet as a whole is what people do on social media and how it affects society and our culture, as well as how the metaphorical echo chamber that is the internet has fostered hate and misinformation, which leads to people doing drastic, sometimes evil things.
Are you aware that there is a lot of misinformation spread online?
Yeah, I'm very much aware, because everywhere you go you see fake rumours and leaks about everything, and people claiming that they know stuff when they obviously don't.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of people who, well, I mean, trolls for one, who just like to basically gaslight people and like tell them wrong things just for a laugh, and then there's genuine news sources that just tell you the wrong thing because they want the public to be swayed by some story.
The internet is no stranger to controversy. Whether it's a famous influencer saying something deemed offensive or a celebrity supporting something that people dislike, even something as simple as a differing opinion is enough for people to have a full-blown, hate-filled argument over the internet sometimes. So it's no surprise that people will go to extreme lengths to silence people they dislike online. When you use social media, it's very clear that people have their differences, so one of the ways people tend to manipulate other people's opinions is through the use of misinformation.
Do you think you've ever been susceptible to a false belief spread online?
I'd say yes. It's very easy to fall into that trap, and especially when like someone said a celebrity's done this, or it's very easy to believe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
People spread misinformation online as a means to belittle other people or make someone else's opinion seem untrue or less valid than their own. The main reason people spread misinformation is out of pure boredom and loneliness. So people make things up just to stir controversy and make others feel just as bad as they do. Thankfully, according to a study on this website, people are less likely to spread misinformation if they know it to be false, which is an encouraging statistic to see, as people won't fall for other people's lonely attacks. Next, something significantly less petty and a lot more sinister. This is what happens when someone gets pushed too far and snaps. Swatting is a supposed joke where a person calls the police accusing the victim of a serious crime, such as holding someone hostage or possessing a large amount of drugs. This leads to the needless use of a SWAT team or an armed police raid on a person's home. Thankfully, most of the time nobody is harmed and the victim is compensated for any damages that may have been caused during the raid. However, sometimes there are circumstances when this alleged joke becomes lethal. In December 2017, Tyler Ray Barris was playing a game online with another man, which led to both men getting angry, and when Barris threatened to swat the other man's house, the other man then dared him to do it. When Barris asked for the man's address, he of course gave him a false one, which was actually his old address, and not where he currently lived. Unknowingly, Barris believed it to be the real one. When armed police showed up at the old house, they were met with 28-year-old Andrew Finch, who now lived at the previous address of the man. When approached by the police, Andrew was shot dead, as one of the officers believed he was armed and was reaching for a weapon. Barris was later arrested and sentenced to 20 years in prison for filing a false police report which led to a man's death. This devastating event is just one of the many examples where someone so hate-filled was able to commit such an act of hostility, where an innocent man was killed because of it. One of the main instigators believed to cause so much of the hate and hostility online is the pent-up stress of prolonged isolation that is caused from being constantly online and cooped up in your own world. It is thought that the less actual social interaction that a person has, the more they are at risk of a stress or loneliness related disorder. All of this combined with the already stressful and competitive environment that the internet fosters can cause hate to build and build until someone just snaps, and when that happens, people are capable of truly evil things. But the world doesn't have to be so malicious and hate-filled. There will always be nice, kind people in this world, and your job is to make sure you're one of them. So the next time you're thinking of picking up your device and doom scrolling for hours upon hours, flicking between hateful videos, leaving distasteful comments, maybe just put down your phone and think, what is this actually doing to us?